sports?
Not at all.
Why do you say that?
You know, the United States of America was the greatest country before Trump, and it's the greatest country now after Trump. The white supremacists want to go back. They want to go back to the days when it was legal to own slaves.
You are about to be entertained by the ape, the young man who has become a legend of his own time. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
I love that. You can't handle. I'm surprised they didn't come after me yet for using that. Jack Nicholson and a few good men on the stand being grilled by Tom Cruise, the young prosecutor. Great movie. Great movie. Jack Nicholson, Tom Cruise. You can't handle the truth. Well, if you can't handle the truth, you need to change your channel. What's up, everybody? It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. It's the 30th. It's the last day of January, I believe. So come on, let's warm it up. Let's go. The last day of January 2026. And the whole month has flown past. A whole month has flown past already. A whole month. And it's freezing. I don't have to tell you, it's like freezing. Look at my hair, it's a mess. It's freezing out there, 5 degrees, 6 degrees. You know, then West Palm Beach, Florida right now is 66 degrees. And they're down there crying that it's cold. I guess so for that area, I guess 66 degrees is cold. But I tell you what, I would definitely take it because we got single digits going on this whole weekend. And you notice that the snow is not melting. So the big, whatever fell last weekend is still there. Whatever fell last weekend is still there. The snow has not gone anywhere. So now I guess all the towns and municipalities and what have you are going to have to go into snow removal mode because you can't even cross the street in a lot of places. And all across the tri-state and wherever it's snowed at, it's not just in one particular spot. It's everywhere where the snow is just sitting there. And a lot of the streets and the side streets, the poor people on the side streets have mountains of snow pushed in front of their cars. And people are complaining about this. The people in Staten Island are complaining that they feel like they're the stepchild of the city of New York because they're not being picked up. Patterson, Clifton, Newark, Irvington, a lot of the places, the streets that are not well traveled are still a mess. You know, the big streets, the main drags, the shopping districts are all getting the attention because they got to keep that income going. You know, we don't want the chambers of commerce to start complaining, but yeah. Let me just check and make sure everything is going well on Facebook. So today, this week's the third annual Let Us Live March in Tallahassee, Florida. The Let Us Live March going on in Tallahassee, Florida. So yesterday, we didn't do the show yesterday, and I gotta produce a show every week because the Ron Kelly show is now being broadcast on WBOK live radio, not internet, it's radio. WBOK 1230 AM in New Orleans. Shout out to the peeps out there. I'll be on the front porch and the morning show on WBOK in a week. Next week, as a matter of fact, I'll be on the front porch on WBOK, and I'll be on the morning show on WBOK radio. So look out for that. It's about 5 minutes past the hour. So yeah, so I have to produce a show today because I wasn't on last night, and they were calling like, okay, what happened? So I'm obliged now. I have to do a show every week. I can't take off any weeks. I have to do a show every week per, because the show is being aired on WBOK radio in New Orleans. And that's just a start. It's an indication of the Ron Kelly Show. We're going to be moving all across the country and coming off internet. The internet will be the secondary way where you can listen to the show. But in your cars, in your houses, in your homes, maybe even Sirius, XM radio at some point, you'll be able to hit a Ron Kelly Show. So we're going to be moving away from the internet. Not that the internet hasn't been good. The internet has been good to the Ron Kelly Show. Make sure you hop on over to the Ron Kelly Show on YouTube and show the Ron Kelly Show some love. We need some help over there. So go on over to the Ron Kelly Show on YouTube and show us some love. It's about 6 minutes after the hour. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, shout out to the people out there in New Orleans. It's cold out there too, but it's not as bad as it is up here. So the Don Lemon got arrested. So what? That's about all I got to say about that. Don Lemon was arrested protesting with the ICE people, and he's another one of those folks who got booted off the radio. I mean, booted off mainstream radio and mainstream television. You got Joy Reid got the boot from MSNBC. It's called MS Now. Roland Martin got the boot from CNN. Don Lemon got the boot from CNN. See, because you can't say what you want to say as a black journalist. And I'm not trying to say it's racist or anything like that, but you have to be careful of what you say. I have to be careful of what I say. Maybe not so much right now, but I do have to be careful of what I say, because guess what? When the Ron Kelly Show comes up for syndication somewhere else, like outside of New Orleans, for example, they're going to want to look at my past shows. And let's say, I talked about transgenderism last week. So if there's somebody transgender who's making a decision for my show to go, on syndication, they might say, well, no, we don't like him. Anyway, Ronald McCready, my brother, I said, man, my brother, Ronald McCready, haven't seen him in a while. Concerned for you, brother. I'm glad you're all right. Appreciate you. Ronald McCready, my grammar school classmate. I'm not going to say when that was. Anyway, shout out to you, Ronald McCready. Thank you so much. Thank you for your continued participation. And my brother, DJ Tiny, Albert Vega, DJ Tiny, my brother. Appreciate you. Thanks. Oh, he was looking for me yesterday. See, I gotta get better with that. I gotta get better with it. Thank you, brother. DJ Tiny, you need some music? Any of you guys, you got a wedding coming up, a reception, a birthday party, whatever it is, whatever situation you have where you need some music, but you can holler at my boy, Albert Vega. You can holler at him in a message board on his page. DJ Tiny. Check him out. I've danced to I sweated to his music more than once. The brother can spin him. So give him a holler. Give him a holler. Albert Vega, DJ Tiny, as he's known outside of the Facebook and nonsensicals, this stuff. Holler at the brother. I give him my personal endorsement. So check the brother out, DJ Tiny, better known as Albert Vega. What's up, my brother? Ronald McCready. Yeah, because it's so many people that I've known have died recently. It's just people that just, I don't know. Not to say that it's COVID or anything like that, but I know a lot of people who have passed on. People that I've known, people that I've grown with and grown up with. And, I'm like, wow. So when I go back to the old neighborhood, nobody's there. Jersey City, my Jersey City, the heart is hard, the chill town. And when I go back to Jersey City to see who's around, nobody's around. Nobody. And not that I expected. I left Jersey City in the 90s, 96, I believe it was. So, yeah, so I go back to the old neighborhood. I don't know if any of y'all experienced this. Oh, of course, Albert Baker, my brother. Love you, man. Love you, my brother. Not a problem. Um, so I go back to the old neighborhood, Storms Avenue in Monticello, Jersey City, the heart is hard, the chill town. And there's nobody around, Ronald McCready. There's nobody around. I mean, the school that we went to is, well, that's still there. you know, it wasn't like we went to school in the 1800s, so anybody was thinking that, knock it off. But yeah, Jersey City, chill town. I go back there now, Mercer Street, Brunswick Street, live right around the corner from the old finance supermarket on the corner of Brunswick and Montgomery. My mom used to take me there back in the day. And it's funny that the laundromat on Montgomery Street is still there between Brunswick and, I can't think of the other side street. It's been a long time. But yeah, I go around now. The old building we used to live in, gone. It's a parking lot. So everything has changed. So I go back to the old neighborhood. People are gone. Buildings are gone. Wow. Wow. So I was looking for my brother, Ronald McCready. I'm like, where is this guy? I know he didn't, hopefully he's all right, no matter what. You listen to me, people come and go. Some people stick, some don't. You listen to me, you don't listen to me. But Ronald McCready, I was very concerned for you, brother. And I'm glad you're all right. Okay. No, I think, no, Ronald McCready. I think Jordan wasn't that, Jordan was off of Montgomery Street. But yeah, you're talking about the other end of Jordan. I thought that was near St. Peter's University, they call it now. It used to be known as St. Peter's College, but it's known as St. Peter's University now. It had a 5 minutes of fame when the team advanced to the round of 8 in the NCAA tournament for the national championship. The St. Peter's did get their 5 minutes of fame, and then they lost, which we all expected. There's no way they could have, but they had their 5 minutes of fame, and kudos for them. But yeah, I think Jordan that's the street that's near. That's the street. Well, anyway, y'all don't know nothing about Jersey City. Anyway, welcome everybody to Ron Kelly Talk Radio program, and it's on all across the social media spectrum, and it's on WBOK 12:30 a.m. in New Orleans. Shout out to my people down there. I'll be going live down there very soon. So I'm looking forward to the whole new audience, and the audience is not on the internet. And shout out to my internet peoples. But yeah, so yesterday, or this weekend, I believe, is the third annual Let Us Live March. Third annual Let Us Live March. And this is Let Us Live. They're saying in the moment when the trans communities are being targeted on every front, our safety, dignity, liberation are inseparable from the struggles for racial justice. See, this is the problem that I have with this transgender nonsense. This is the problem that I have. They're comparing themselves to the plight of black folks. They're comparing themselves to the plight of racism and what black people went through for hundreds of years. So the transgender people are comparing themselves to the black experience in America. Now, mind you, though, these people haven't been around that long. And I'll tell you the truth, I'm not anti-transgender. Live your life. but just don't try to shove it down my throat. So the people are, what's going on now with the transgender community is that, like I said, I don't have a problem with them being gay or whatever. I don't have a problem with that. I never had a problem with that. You be who you are. It doesn't bother me. I'm not intimidated by it. I'm not jealous of it or anything like that. So, hey, do you, be you, do you. But this thing with changing, I'm pretty sure that women don't want to be going in the bathroom with no man, whether he has a dress on or not. I wouldn't want my little daughter, 8, 9 years old, to be going to the bathroom, and I can't really go in there. So she's got to go in there. And there might be some pervert. See, because the pervert's going to take advantage of this. The perverts will take advantage of this. The perverts will take advantage of the meta glasses now. You got the meta glasses that can you don't have to touch them. You can tell them what to do and they'll do it. Tell them to take a picture, they'll take it. Tell them to record. I got a pair, but I'm not no pervert. You tell them what to record, and they record it. So they're going to take advantage of this stuff. Perverts, they'll take advantage of the meta glasses. They'll take advantage of men going into women's bathrooms. Because men should not be allowed to go into women's bathroom. I don't care if you're transgender or not. It's just the way things are. And so they look at it and they say, well, we're suffering like black people suffer. Oh, hell no, you're not. No, you're not. Were you enslaved for hundreds of years? Were you not allowed to learn? Were you stripped of your dignity and stripped of your heritage? Your name, your given name, you were given the names to the slave owners. That's why a lot of us now, my last name is Kelly. I'm not Irish. That's a slave name. That's a name because my ancestors were slaves. A lot of us with these highfalutin names, Cunningham, and in these names, McCready. No, just messing with you, brother. But a lot of these names are slave names. These ain't our names. Kelly. I'm not Irish, not even close. But that's one of the dyed-in-the-wool Irish names, Kelly. I'm not Irish. Never been to Ireland. But these are the names that we're carrying around now. Ronald McCready said, Albert Vega says that's his answer. Absolutely, brother. Ronald McCready says, I didn't give an F when I had my granddaughter out. I went. Ronald McCready says he went in that damn bathroom anyway. For the people of WBOK 12:30 a.m., we're going to make a way for you guys to reach out. So you'll be able to call into the program, and everybody will be able to call into the program at some point. I'm working on that feverishly. But yeah, Ronald McCready says he didn't give a damn. I went into that women's bathroom to make sure it was safe. And you had every right to. I mean, I would, when I had my granddaughter, I mean, I would I would look in there and say something, is any women in there? My granddaughter needs to go to the bathroom. I wouldn't just bust up in there like Ronald McCready did. But Ronald McCready said, I ain't give a damn. Ronald McCready says, my grandmother married an Irish. Okay, that's where the McCready came from. That's an Irish name too, brother. See, Albert Vega, we know where his name came from. But and they're comparing themselves to black people, victims of racism, Hispanics, blacks, immigrants. I mean, come on. It's unbelievable. We'll take a break. It's about 20 minutes after the hour. We'll take a break and we'll come back with more of the program. It's The Ron Kelly Show, and it's on blogtalkradio.com, theronkellyshow.com, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and in New Orleans is WBOK 1230 a.m. Yes, indeed, I am the man. What a news cycle this is. This guy has got to go. Trump has got to go. Joe George Floyd snuffed out by this police officer who's supposed to be serving and protecting people.
It's the Ron Kelly Show.
Right, everybody, we are back. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program, all across the social media spectrum, and on WBOK 12:30 a.m. in New Orleans. Yes, sir. And looking forward to more affiliates to the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. Don't you know, for 80 years, for 40 years, my bad, for 45 years, American Port Fuel Transportation has been your source, your dedicated source to safe and reliable transportation to and from your destination, school districts, private school transportation, casino trips, senior trips, you name it. Amica in Porterfield can handle it. Just give them a call, 908-753-6423, 908-753-6423. You can email them at amica.porterfield@verizon.net. That's amica.porterfield@verizon.net. Amica Porterfield is a loyal sponsor and part of the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. Thank you so much for that. At 21 minutes past the hour, just about 22 minutes past the hour, because right now, and you say past the hour because it's all different types of, that's what we, little secret from what we do, we say past the hour because there's people listening to the Ron Kelly show in different time zones. In California, it's only 20 minutes after 3. In New Orleans, actually, it's 6:22, not 7:22. So you have to say we say when we're on radio, especially with nationally syndicated, we say past the hour. Because we don't know what time it is where people are listening anyway. 22 minutes past the hour here on the East Coast, in New Jersey, Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Daylight Time, I should say. That we're wrong. Ronald McCready said he didn't give a F when he. Ronald McCready said he didn't give a F who was in there. Yeah, I'm going. That's right, brother. That's right. Go and protect your granddaughter. That's right. But it's kind of crazy that these people are. Hello, Atlanta Marshall. Good evening. It's crazy that these people are. Comparing themselves to black people. I was talking to a friend of mine, a female friend earlier today, and I was talking about, men and what we're expected to do. We're expected to be hardcore, we're the man. And, as growing up, I was taught not to cry, There was a bar on the corner of Mercer Street. And Brunswick Street, I believe it was. And we used to go down there and talk to the old winos. They gave us some good advice. But they gave us some bad advice too. Now that I've grown up and be able to see it for myself, the old winos on the corner gave us good advice, and then they gave us bad advice. They told us a poor rat only has one hole to crawl in. A poor rat has only one hole to crawl in, meaning that if you only got one place to lay your head, if you only got one woman, if you only got one, because back in the day, back like in the late 70s, you know, it was okay to have a bunch of two more, because back in the day, it was common for men to have more than one family back in the day. You remember Ronald McCready? I mean, we was little kids back then, but yeah, it was okay to have more than one family. And you know, back in the day before cell phones and Facebook, you can get lost and nobody would know where you were. So it was okay. Then nowadays they can track you. They can, you know, you can't hide from people these days. They can track you. They can find you wherever you're at. But back in the day, no Facebook, no cell phone, no beeper, no communication device where anybody could find you. So it was common for a man to have, and it didn't cost that much to raise a family back in the day. So it was common for a man to have another family across town. It was practically accepted. And then on top of that, the women sometimes knew each other. And they knew that old boy had a family and a couple of kids across town. They knew it. And sometimes, a lot of times, the women knew it. You know, but they like, look, as long as he paid my rent, long as he paid my rent, I don't care what he do when he leave out of here. As long as my bills is paid, as long as I got food in the refrigerator. You know. So it was easy to cheat. It was easy to cheat back in the day. And I don't advocate cheating, of course not. But it was easy to do back in the day because nobody can find you. Then nowadays, people can put something on your car, put a tracker on the outside of your car or underneath the wheel well. There's cameras everywhere. So social media has ruined the cheating, the cheating ritual because there's nowhere to hide anymore. There's nowhere to hide. And I guess I don't advocate cheating. I don't think it's right. You know, I'm not gonna say I've never done it, but but now people they get little tiny cameras, magnetized. They just stick on the car. You know, you can put a listening device underneath the table or whatever, just a little tiny thing, just stick it there, and it'll tell you everything that the people are saying. Anywhere you go now, there's going to be more than likely when you step out of your door, like in my building where I live, my apartment building, there's cameras everywhere. So there's no way I could even, you know, I can't say I was home if the camera footage is going to show that I wasn't. So nowadays, you know, people got Ring cameras, and matter of fact, there's somebody down the hallway got a Ring camera, and every time I pass by their door, the Ring camera comes on, and I personally don't like that. You know, why you need to see who's walking down the hallway? But nowadays, you can't hide. The cameras and everywhere. Somebody can look you up on the People Finder and find out. Yeah. Big Brother's right. Big Brother's watching, Ronald McCready. Big Brother's watching. And see, and some of y'all may not be familiar with George Orwell. You know, George Orwell in the 50s. George Orwell in the 50s. In the 50s wrote the book 1984. George Orwell. Look it up. Look it up. George Orwell in the 50s wrote 1984. 1984 was a book written by George Orwell. And this book was written in the 50s. George Orwell. It was published, matter of fact, it was published in 1949. 1949, which was 35 years before 1984. 35 years. And he predicted all of this stuff. I'm taking y'all to school, church. Yeah, he predicted all of this stuff that's going on now. It's spelled out so simply. Big Brother, Ronald McCready said it. Big Brother. Uh, there's a totalitarian superstate, Oceania, which would be America, which is led by Big Brother, who's Donald Trump, who's a dictatorial leader, supported by an intense cult of personality manufactured by the party's thought police. Thought police. So tell me you don't think that there's a thought police. Because of course there is. And what and you just get the crib notes. 1984. Just get the crib notes. And you'll see what George Orwell was talking about. He predicted in 1949, decades ago, and he wrote about how things were going to be in 1984. Now, yes, now we are in 2026, but this is what he wrote that 1984 would be like. And it is. Big Brother is watching, Ronald McCready. Big Brother is watching. You can't go anywhere. You can't do nothing. If somebody wants to know about you, they can just look you up on a people finder and find out where you was born, where you live, where you used to live. It's some scary stuff. It was like I said, back in the days, back in the 70s, the 80s, you could hide. You know, nobody, if you you could go around the corner and nobody would know where you were. Because there was no cell phones, there was no Facebook, Snapchat, and all of this stuff that they got going on now. People Finder. And this is what George Orwell talked about in 1949. 1949. This is what George Orwell wrote about 70 years ago. 60 something odd years ago. He talked about this stuff. So Big Brother is watching. You can't go nowhere. Figure you leave your phone home. Well, I'm leaving my phone home, which is not a bad idea. You know, leave your phone home. This way, it won't bounce off of any cell tower. It's just unless you go to it, you just can't hide no more. You just can't hide. So if you can get 1984, just get the crib notes. You don't have to read the whole book, but the 1984 is in direct correlation to what's going on in the world today, right now. You can't hide. You can't go nowhere. You can't do nothing without somebody, some camera seeing you. It's unbelievable. It's 30, it's 27 minutes before the hour. So yeah, so back in the day, you can have another family on the other side of town, and more often than not, the women knew. But they was like, hey, long as he handled his business over here, you could have another family. Then you have people who are polyamorous. Neo, the singer, Neo has 3 or 4 girlfriends. I mean, he can afford them. Most of us, even if I wanted to have 3 or 4 girlfriends, I can't afford 3 or 4 girlfriends. It's bad enough, hard enough to afford one. Yeah, we dream about that, like having the sister wives, and you got but what a headache that would be. Because having one woman can be a major headache. So imagine how that would be, having sister wives, 5 and 6 women, like the Arabs, the super rich, filthy rich Arabs have 8, 9 wives. You could pick one of them for the night. Oh boy, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to have 5 or 6 wives. I mean, it sounds like something you might want to do for your birthday or something. To have 5 or 6 women, but every day, I don't think so. All right, everybody. It's about 35. It's about 25 minutes for the hour. Shout out to my people out at WBOK 12:30 a.m. I got to give my people some love. 12:30 a.m. New Orleans, who has adopted the Ron Kelly Show, and we're going to be there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be on two shows. I'm going to be on the front porch, and I'm going to be on the WBOK morning show next week. So look out for that. I'll keep you posted. It's a program note. And next week, Council at Large, Patterson, Council at Large candidate, Casey Melvin. Patterson, Councilman at Large candidate, Casey Melvin will be right here. We'll be right here. The place where all the politicians go. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio Show. They'll be here. Casey Melvin will be here. It's already been finalized. So you guys, Patterson folks, who are concerned about what's going on, yeah, you can, you want to find out what this man is planning on doing, what his agenda is, what his platform is, then you make sure you tune in next Thursday, 7 p.m. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio Show. And our special guest is Patterson Council at Large candidate, Casey Melvin. Okay, everybody, there you go. At 24 minutes before the hour. So yeah, it's weird. It's a weird time right now. It's a weird time right now. Very, very weird. Like I said, you can't go nowhere without somebody seeing you. It's just impossible. So, and social media is off the chain right now. You don't know, because you got AI, right? And I'm not beat for the transgender people, but some of those women and some of those transgender women, some of them look good. I have to admit. I mean, before I know that they're a man, yeah, some of them look good. But now it's the time where you can't tell if anything is real, because you got AI, and you can make anything on AI, artificial intelligence, AI. And there was a movie. You remember the movie? There was a movie, War Games, back in the 80s. War Games was a movie. And the movie was about the system that runs the nuclear weapons, United States of America, defense system. The movie War Games. And in the movie War Games, the artificial intelligence ran the United States nuclear deployment system, the system that would calculate how many people are going to die and whether it's a good idea to shoot the missiles off or not. And the computers ran everything. So what eventually happened was the computers decided they were going to shoot off. The computers decided, not the president, not the Senate, not the Congress, not the Secretary of Defense or the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The computer decided that it was time to shoot to start a war. The computer decided it, right? Not a person, a computer. And see, so for the people that are afraid of AI, this is the danger. This is what people are talking about. The computers will start making decisions. And the computer doesn't worry about dying because computers is not a human being. So this is what do people feel is dangerous, because the computer decides who gets hit first and what the casualty amount will be. And so this is what the fear is for people that are afraid of AI, that the computers are going to decide what gets blown up, who gets blown up first. Is it Russia? Is it China? Is it North Korea? Is it, whoever our enemies might be, Iran, Iraq, Syria, And this is what people are afraid of. The people who are afraid of AI, this is what they're afraid of. That the computers start making decisions for us instead of us making the decisions. So the computer in this movie War Games, the computer decided that it was going to start a war. The computer decided, no human input at all. The computer decided it was going to start a war. And this is what the fear is of people with HI, because it is artificial intelligence. And even though it's artificial, it's still intelligence. And now they have AI now where you can have an AI friend. You can go on. You got BetterHelp. I mean, BetterHelp. There is a human involved, but they do have GPT, and there are other ways where you can have a friend, a AI friend that you can actually talk to and tell them what kind of day you had, and then they'll respond back to you. It's weird. It's weird as hell. But yeah, you can have an AI friend. So if you're lonely, if you're not the type of person who likes to go out and meet people, you can have an AI friend. These glasses, like I got some of these. I got the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. They tell me what the weather's like, and and they ask me how was my day. It's weird, scary. But this is what's going on. And so for the people, so if you wonder why people are afraid of AI, that's what they're afraid of. That there's going to be the AI, the machinery will start making decisions without our input. So they have a legitimate fear. They have a legitimate fear. Because if the computers start making decisions, especially with defense systems, with nuclear weapons, which is a zero-sum game where nobody wins. That's why nobody has shot at nobody, because the world would end if a nuclear war ever started. And it's not just about Russia and China. India has them, Pakistan has them, Australia, most of the Russia, most of the allies, NATO allies have. There's a lot of people who got nuclear weapons. So it's not just about Russia and us. It's about all the other people who got. North Korea, we don't know how many they have. We know they're an enemy. So this is the fear. People are afraid of AI because they're afraid AI will start making decisions for us. Okay, we'll take a break and we'll come back with more of this program. What did I do with Mr. Ron Kelly Show when it's on blogtalkradio.com, the RonKellyShow.com.
The Ron Kelly Show. Real talk, bold truth. Tune in for your weekly dose of unapologetic conversations that don't dodge the truth or dilute the message. Stay informed on the issues that matter most on The Ron Kelly Show every Monday at 7 p.m. on WBOK 1230 a.m.
That's right. WBOK 1230 a.m. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. Unapologetic. That's right. I don't apologize for Nathan because I say what I say, I think what I think, and I used to, and I used to tiptoe over people back in the day. Admittedly, yeah, I was friends with the chief police chief when I first started my radio program. It was basically local politics, so I would, you know, I had free reign in the city hall. I would go to the mayor's office. Uh, Marty Barnes, loved Marty Barnes, even though Marty Barnes was a so-called criminal. And yes, he did some stuff he had no business doing. Not going to make excuses for that. I loved Marty Barnes. Um, I I was able to get him on the radio, on my radio show, Ron Kelly morning show on at William Patterson University. Because back in the day, before all this technology and stuff, people had to actually come. I guess they could have called in, but people had to actually come to the college, William Patterson University, where my program was airing on uh, uh, the WPA. What was it? What was it? I cannot think of the call letters of the station. Uh, the WPSC 88.7 FM, WPAT 88.7 FM is where my show used to air. And I was able to get Marty Barnes to come up there and let me interview him while he was under indictment. Yeah, he was under indictment. And he came up and he talked to me. So when he got out of prison, he talked to me then as well. When he got out of prison, shortly before he died. Yeah. So, yeah. Marty Barnes. Loved Marty Barnes. He was all right with me. I don't know about the rest of y'all. But anyway, it's 14 minutes before the hour. So, okay, why can't I get your comments off my screen? Okay, I'll figure it out. Anyway, 15 minutes before the hour. So yeah. So yeah, back in the day, nobody, you can hide. Can't hide now. No, can't hide. Yeah, you can't hide. I like that. Let me play that again.
The Ron Kelly Show. Real talk, bold truth. Tune in for your weekly dose of unapologetic conversations that don't dodge the truth or dilute the message. Stay informed on the issues that matter most on The Ron Kelly Show every Monday at 7 p.m. on WBOK 1230 a.m.
Oh, I'm loving that. I'm loving that. I'm loving that. I'm loving that. WPOK 1230 a.m. In New Orleans. And I'll be heading down there at some point. Go down there and holler at the peoples down there in New Orleans. Maybe open up a supermarket or something. Now, dreams do come true, peoples. So, okay, why can't I see any of my okay, well, in any case, the views and opinions expressed here are exclusively those of myself and the Ron and R. Kelly Media Enterprises and are not those of myself or not those of my advertisers or my support team or anybody who has anything to do with the Ron Kelly talk radio program at 12 minutes before the hour. New comments, okay. Oh, okay, all right. Okay, so Annette Marshall says, so have you moved to Friday nights or is this for 1 week only? Well, thank you so much for your for wanting to know the answer to that. No, the Ron Kelly Show is going to stay on Thursdays, but because I'm obligated to another station, I have to have a show no matter what. So, yeah, the show, I have to air a show so it can air down there. Yeah, WBOK 1230 a.m. in New Orleans. And it's just a start. Dreams do come true, people. And like I was saying, I would love to have a conversation with Tyler Perry. Not about the sex suit lawsuits, but about the struggle. because it's a struggle. Because you're by yourself for the most part. If you get a woman, or if you're a man, if you get a woman who supports you, who's down with you, 10 toes down, you're lucky. Yeah. Yeah. If you get a woman, or if you get a significant other who supports you, you're lucky. You're lucky. Because this thing is it's um it's a long road. I can tell you stories of radio stations I used to go to in the middle of the night on Grove Street and East Orange and crossing the graveyard, or the worst places that I've gone. Belleville in the middle of the night. Yeah, I had a show. I was an intern at WWRL, and I can get if I was on a station. I interned at WWRL, the old Frankie Crocker station, WWRL in Queens, and I used to drive. It took me longer to get there and back home than it did to be there. I was there for a few hours on the radio with this girl named Envy. Her radio name was Envy, and she used to, even though nobody was calling into her program, she used to um, tell me to write down names, just random names, and then she would go back when it was time for her to talk in between the music. She would say, "Shout out to Jeremy," or "Shout out to Cheryl," "Shout out to," and none of these people called. None of these people called because I was right there. So, yeah. So if you can find somebody who can share your dream with you, and take themselves out of the way for now, because they know that there's going to be a reward at the end. See, this is what I'm saying. Because the women these days, I don't know about the men because I don't deal with men. I smoke cigars with them. That's about it. But if you can find somebody to share your dream, it's like you share your dream. Find a woman who can share your dream without wanting something for herself, without her getting in the way of what you're trying to do, and with her being patient, knowing that the reward is coming, and not to put our own selfishness in the way. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. See, because the late, great Kevin Samuels, I loved Kevin Samuels. Loved the brother. Because he kept it real. People said he was hardcore, but he wasn't hardcore because women will tell you in a minute that you don't qualify. Women will tell you, "Hey, look, I don't think you're the person for me." They'll do that in a heartbeat. But men, now when we do it, we being cruel. We're being hardcore. But women tell us all the time, they want a high value man. They want somebody who makes six figures, is 6'3" and 200 and some odd pounds of muscle, don't have no kids, and you got 2 or 3 kids. So how you gonna look at me, want a man with no kids, and you got some? Some of these crazy TikToks where the women, hey, I took a DNA test to say my baby. Well, yes, it is. So, if you can find a woman who can put herself to the side and see the dream for what it is, you're lucky. You're lucky. Because that's hard to find. Because most women are going to want to get in the way. They can't say, because like Kevin Samuels used to say, the white, you wonder why black men, and I'm not talking about all black women, not all, but a lot of ones I've had the misfortune of meeting, were like that. But Kevin Samuels said, when that black women, not all, I'm not condemning black women as a whole, I mean, I still love my black women as much as a pain in the kazoo they are. But men, when, like, again, we get told all the time, we don't qualify or you don't make enough. What kind of car you got? Where you live? So we get told all the time. But when Kevin Samuels used to do it, he was a criminal. Oh, I'm glad he died. I mean, come on now. The man died. But he said he was, with the white women are willing to wait. White women are willing to wait. Mark Fowlis, I'll get to you in a minute, my brother. White women are willing to wait. White women are willing to cultivate. See, because black women want to come in when Mark Fowlis, my brother, is a film producer. But the women will come running after him once he gets to Spielberg status. Like me, when I get to Tom Joyner, Steve Harvey status, which I am totally unequivocally absolutely sure that I will, then they'll come running. So he said, Kevin Samuels said that white women will meet you in high school and they'll help you, help cultivate you, help not raise you, but help, big you up and push you along. They're willing to put in the time and effort, but black women, for the most part, want you to get there. They want to meet you at the finish line, but they don't want to meet you at the starting line. They don't want to be along the side of the road to hand you bottles of water as you're running past in the marathon. They don't want to do that. They want to wait until you get to the promised land, and then they want to come along and cash in. Mark Fowlis says men should just focus on themselves and not worry about women. Strive to become the best version of yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, and financially. And brother, I can definitely agree with that. It's about 4 minutes before the hour, so I'll do this real quick. I can agree with that, brother. But sometimes you need, as a man, it ain't all about being hardcore and, it is about being able to fight and all of that stuff and you're not going to be crying every day and all this, weakness, but then you're a human being. You're a human being. Okay, same difference, brother. Same. Mark Fowlis wants to be in the movie business. There you go. Same difference. But yeah. So, it's always, what about me? What about me? Now, I don't want to kick the women's backs in. I know the women down there in New Orleans are like, what? But no. I mean, you got to be able to put yourself to the side. Just like if you got a woman, let's say she's going, yeah, absolutely. Albert Vega says they don't want to go through the struggle and the hardship of getting to, right. There's a lot of women who don't. They don't want to go through the struggle and the hardship of getting to the finish line. Ronald McCready says people always say they don't need. Yeah, because I need somebody in my life. I'm not going to, there's nobody there right now, but I need somebody because I'm just tired of the games. Because sex is, I can make a phone call after this show is over and order sex like I order DoorDash. It wouldn't be a problem. But I don't want that. Albert Vegas says a lot of women, they don't want to run. They don't want to run the marathon with you. They just want to be at the finish line while you're getting the glory and the check. A lot of women. And I'm a man, cold-blooded, all 100% man, no doubt about it. But I want somebody I can put my head in their lap, because it's hard being a man. It's even harder being a black man. It's hard. So I want somebody to rub my head, and I don't mean that one, right? At the end of the day, I want somebody, how was your day? To empathize with me. A lot of these women are so selfish, they just want what they want. Mark Fowlis, I'm not sure what you're saying, brother. I'm not sure what you're saying, but I know for me, even though I'm a man, but I'm still a human being. I'm still a human being. Mark Fowler says that if a man doesn't possess these qualities, he has no. No, I'm not saying. No, no, no. You got me all wrong, brother. You got me wrong. No, I'm not. I'm saying that. Yeah, but God made woman for man. God made woman for man. God made man for woman. Now I didn't know I wasn't meant to be by myself. I don't know what anybody else thinks. Mark Fowler, I respect you, brother, but that's your opinion and you're welcome to it. But I want a woman in my life, because I wasn't meant to navigate the world by myself. Arnetta Marshall, I'm not even going to respond to what you're saying. Ronald McCready says they want you to do all the work while they receive the benefit. Yeah, you see, because I just wanted WBOK. I'm going over a couple of minutes. Please bear with me. See, I don't care how much you make. I don't look at women how much. See, because you look on the profiles now of women, and you see they'll say, "I'm strong and independent. I got my own." I don't care. I don't care how much you got. That don't matter to me, how much you got. I don't care. When I was married, my ex-wife made $300,000 a year. I kept my job, and I wasn't making nowhere near what she was making. But I kept my job. I don't care how much a woman makes. I could care less. See, Arnetta Marshall, you're like being very ignorant right now. You're being ignorant. Mark Fowler says a man has to be able to provide. Yeah, but of course, Mark Fowler. See, you getting on my nerves too. Of course, a man has to be able to provide if it takes. Yeah, of course. But it's a two-way street, brother. It's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. We provide for each other. We protect each other. That's that old. I don't know what you're talking about, brother. That's that old '60s stuff. No, we have to, we're in this thing together, and we have to provide and protect each other. No. We work together. We work together, the faster we'll get to our destination. But if I'm doing all the work and you're not doing nothing, it's going to take that much more time. Ronald McCready says they have their own, but they still need, right. You still need. I need somebody in my life, and I ain't no simp, and I ain't no wimp, and I got a strong back, and I can handle my business. But I don't want to be by myself, because at the end of the day, if you get sick, who's gonna wipe your ass, or whatever the case may be? Who's gonna blow your nose? Who's gonna come up to the hospital and help you out? You're not gonna do that by yourself. I don't give a damn how strong you are. You're not going to do that by yourself. You need help. So all it is, no, I'm not emotional at all, brother. I'm not emotional at all. I don't get emotional on my program. I don't get emotional. That right. I said that. That's your opinion. That's your opinion. And I respect your opinion. But that's you. That's not me. You should be. I'm insulted that you would say something like that. Anyway, everybody is we need to work together. See, that's the ignorance, the women and the men. We need to work together. I'm not going to be by myself, because we all going to need somebody someday. We're going to need somebody. And no, Mark Fowler, I'm not being emotional. I don't get emotional on my program. But anyway, I got to get off because I'm like 5 minutes over, and they're going to kill me down in down. Look, everybody's not going to be on a career course together. Right now, I'm learning how to be a master mason. I just enrolled in real estate school. So I'm learning how to be a real estate agent, and I'm and also like bigging my show up and trying to do this show every week. So I got a lot on my plate, and I don't want to be doing all this stuff alone. So let me see. Ronald McCready says, I appreciate that. Right, you got somebody in your life that got your back. That's right. That's right. But we don't have to trade, I'll have your back if you got mine. I don't want no woman like that. I don't want that. You can go ahead with yourself. I don't want that. I got my back if you I got your back if you got mine. No, you need to go ahead. You need to go ahead. Because there are going to be times where you may have to row the boat by yourself. You may have to row the boat by yourself. There's going to be times where you may have to do that. Yeah, I know I'm at it all. So they can edit the show. They can edit out the commercials or whatever to squeeze it into that hour. But yeah. No, I'm just saying. I don't want to be out here by myself. And I'm not Mark Follis. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm not seeing you smiling. Ha, ha, ha. I'm not mad. I'm getting ready to go smoke a cigar. That's what I'm getting ready to do with 5 minutes past the hour. Look, I'm going to break up out of here, everybody. So y'all come catch me next Thursday night on the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. Council at Large, Patterson Council at Large candidate, Casey Melvin. Some of y'all people in Patterson, y'all know that brother. Casey Melvin is going to be on the Ron Kelly show next Thursday evening at 7 p.m. So until then, everybody, I like to say that it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And that we may not have it all together, ladies and gentlemen, but together, man and woman, boy and girl, together, we can definitely have it all. Thank you so much. I think I'm out of here.